Hey, friends and fam. I'm Nathan. Thanks for being here. I wanted to share a little story about some of you might remember this painting that I did. It's a painting themed around, I'm sorry about my photography, around radical trust. It's this painting I did. I did this painting end of May. And honestly, I don't know, for those that have watched me in the past or paid attention to me in the past, radical trust has been one of my themes for multiple months, and so I reflect on various phrases, themes, energies, feelings, and I reflect and feel through things honestly for quite a while sometimes. And just because it's not really like a stuck thing. It's more like I'm really flowing through at the pace that feels right with the flow of all things that I'm feeling and processing is really my goal anyway. And I had to live through some things and do some things and process some things, and when I say things, I mean like energies, feelings, life experience. I mean all that stuff. And now things are kind of opening up and flowing in a way that I feel like it's time to move this painting. This painting has been sitting on my painting table. It's honestly the last painting I've done, and it's been sitting since end of May. Here is the ball of painter's tape I took up from the edges. As you can tell, I left it so long, the tape goo is stuck to my table. So now I got some cleanup work to do. But the bigger issue, it is stuck to my table. My painting table is a glass desk, right? I got a glass desk off of one of those free Facebook sites. Free neighborhood Facebook sites are awesome, by the way. If you're talking about abundance, y'all, if you're looking for some abundance, just look for some free stuff on a Facebook Buy Nothing group. There is so much flowing out there. Anyway, so it won't come off. It won't come off the table. And at first I was like, oh man, like I left this sitting here that long and it did not. And then I did have this initial moment of like, oh my God, like like it's funny how we do things, right? As our human brains and feelings and our flows. At first I was like, holy crap, like, is that like some kind of representation of my stuck energy and blah, blah, and then kind of being hard on myself about it? But dude, like, my energy is always flowing. The energy is always flowing. There's no other option. It's kind of like one of my favorite state mottos is the Wisconsin state motto. For all those that don't know, the Wisconsin state motto is forward. Energy, in my opinion, in my feels, that's how energy flows. It's just constant forward, like. Anyway, so I was like, why am I feeling like I was stuck or like beating up on myself for this? I did have a moment like that. And I'm like, you know what? So I took a moment and I just kind of, collected myself, and because I wanted to move it because I've had an amazing day. I've had so many intuitive hits, intuitive signs, intuitive speaks from within myself, from being within myself, being reflected back at me from the world around me, and things that have been happening for the last 2 days, and things I've been seeing and experiencing and feeling. And one of the things that happened today that was completely reinforcing for something that I'm going to be talking about soon. It might even be tonight still. I might do 2 videos today. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot of videos for me, for someone who pops in and out every few weeks. A white heron was at one of my favorite sitting spots today. I have a favorite sitting spot here that's fairly near where I live. It's actually about half an hour from where I live now, but I was in that area, decided to go to my favorite sitting spot while I was waiting for my son, while he was doing something else. And this white heron was there. And there's a whole story about how I almost didn't find this, because I almost walked, because there's so much water I couldn't walk to my spot. I decided I had to take off my shoes and socks and basically portage across the slush and mud to get there. And as I was doing that, I found these feathers from the white heron that I was observing before I tried to walk across to my favorite spot. And I wanted to do an altar thing with my feather and the Radical Trust painting I did, because I feel like it's time. My Radical Trust flow, it's time to cycle out this painting, right? It's time for the next. Time for the next. Whatever the next is. It's time for the next new now. You know what I'm trying to say. So, well, here I am at my dilemma, though. It's stuck on the table. Back to that. So I decided in my little part of my transmutation of my energy of being frustrated about that it was stuck and feeling like for a moment like, oh my God, is this a representation of my stuck energy and me, some blockages and I wasn't flowing? Or, you know, it's easy to like get on ourselves, right? It's easy to beat up on ourselves like, oh, I'm just not flowing right. I'm not being right. I'm not doing right. Like, is this, oh man, like, look at this. It's stuck. That's so wrong. But you know what? It's not wrong. It's fucking perfect. Pardon my English, but French. Why do we call swear words French? That ain't right. Anyway, so I'm going to transmute this thing. What I'm going to do and transmute my energy around the stuck painting. And the only way to get it off, I was actually trying to do the careful pry, like just carefully around the edges, just try and get it up. And there's a spot over here where I just was like, oh, it's going to tear. I don't know if you can see. I can't see the camera right now because it was going to tear. I'm like, freaking A, I can't. I'm not going to tear it. So the only way to properly get this thing off the table, it's a watercolor. I'm going to have to re-wet it, which means what I'm loving about this all of a sudden, it's going to change the painting. If I spray water on a watercolor painting, it's going to change the painting. And there was a moment of disappointment around that when I had that realization. And now I'm excited because now I'm like, ooh, oh my God. Now I have to change it in order to release it. And there's something super magical and amazing about that. Here we go. So you're just gonna be here with me for a minute while I spray. I'm gonna respray this paper. I'm gonna actually change my spray. I want it to be a little more of a little wider spray. Oh, pardon my wobbly camera work. The camera crew, where'd they go? I don't know. I didn't feed them snacks or something. Jeez. Okay, so here we go. I am not really able to see, if you all can see, but I'm spraying the painting. Getting it doused with water. I want it really wet because it's got to release. And look at that. It is definitely changing the painting. I'm going to actually set this here for now. This way. And what I'm going to do too now is I'm going to spray underneath too. At the edges where it's stuck, the stuck edges. This is challenging. I may not be fully prepared for this right now yet. You know what I'm going to do though? Because I did spray enough water on it. I was hoping to like get a full enough spray on here and get it wet enough from the bottom up to get it released on the video. But I'm going to be real. This is going to be a project longer than this video. Dude. It's like, honestly, it just adds to the amazing of the day. It's been such an amazing weekend, I gotta tell y'all. Such an amazing weekend. All right, yep. Holy crap. All right, I'm gonna stop keeping you on this video, even though I'm still obsessing about it a little bit. All right, I love you. Thanks for being here.